Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of the HBCU podcast, the show. Today, sorry. Whoa, I skipped a step. With your
Whoa there.
host, Achieve the Dream. You already know what it is. And my co-host.
Good rising, good people, Bobby K, and our fellow honorary co-host, that's editor.
While they not well, y'all. Let's get it. What we got, Bobby?
What's happening? Okay, so as you guys know, we've been going crazy with these HBCU prove it or lose it. So it is my turn today. It's my floor, and I got a good one. I got one for the adults. You know what I'm saying? 25 and up crew. This one is for you, for us to discuss. The youngins, y'all sit back and learn a little something. We're gonna have a real conversation here. So before I say it, I want to say a quick definition. The competence or skill expected of a professional. That is the definition of professionalism. And to me, professionalism is a myth. It is not a real thing. It is not something that is actually abided by. It is something that people toss out as like a nice little buzzword, but it is not something that actually exists. And one of the biggest reasons I say that is because I feel like a lot of times professionalism is something that is told to people who are employees and to people who are not in positions of power to try to uphold. If you go to an interview, you got to dress up a certain way to get the position. If when you're at work, you can't use your phone, you know what I mean, you can't do these different things. Things that seem like common courtesy level things, right? Until you are someone of value or someone who is in a position of power, and then those rules don't abide by you. So to me, at that point, it's no consistency. And quite frankly, then it becomes a myth. So I just want to put that out there real quick, and y'all let me know what y'all first thoughts when y'all hear me say that.
I agree. Not gonna lie. No. The first thing, as soon as you brought up the example you gave, I thought of like an interview I went on in the past, right? It was virtual, albeit, but like dude was in sweats and a shirt, and I'm in a full blown suit. Now, if I were to pull up in sweats and a shirt and he dressed up, I feel like they wouldn't be taking me seriously. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy don't want this job." You feel me?
Bro, they
But
would have hung up on you on the spot.
yeah, this like
Interview over.
this guy not taking us seriously. So why I do think in the position of power, the term professionalism isn't as strict, but there is always somebody above them. So when they do address that person above, I guess, they are professional. But that goes to what you're saying because there's somebody higher. But yeah, I agree with your original statement.
Wale.
So I agree too, honestly, but it's just a matter of like it's always like you said, it's that inconsistency that makes the word now no longer a word. You'll see in like these sitcom shows where there's the main character is someone of a standard to mediocre level of the hierarchy, and then there's the CEO who's like he came back from the beach or something, or with women or something. It's like that's not professional. This is who I rely on to run this business to get my money. This is the person I rely on. You're just lounging about in beach attire, but expect me to come in every day. To me, sometimes depending on the dress work, it's like it's the dress clothing is uncomfortable for me. I like a nice button down polo shirt, but all that other stuff is like that's a lot. See, look, but all that other extraness, the everyday, like I'm going to a recital, no, that's unnecessary. Got to iron every night and all that. No. So this is definitely a time and place when professionalism comes into play, but overall is inconsistent. Where it's like, I feel like the more and more I see it, is like another way of saying it's like its own form of gangs, if it makes sense, like corporate gang kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that corporate life, you were essentially are a gang. If that makes sense. You have your own set of rules, your dress code, um, yeah, just your culture. It's just the streets, just in another lens, if that makes sense. Once you step
That
into
is
this,
a great point.
yeah,
Wow. I've
once you
never
step into these
heard people
doors,
make that that parallel between corporate life and street life. That's so
Corporate gang.
fucking true though.
yeah,
Wow.
corporate gang is literally just another new set of lingo. Um, different mindset. The end goal is the same, money. It
Mm-hmm.
might just
True.
have a nicer lens to it because it's not like, yo, run your pockets, but it kind of run your pockets in a different way.
Facts.
That's
Tax.
that's exactly my point, and I'm glad you said that because it's like it's basically just like another tool of capitalism. It's another oppressive tool for people who are, whether they're black, other minorities of people who are traditionally in corporate spaces, not in positions of power, which is on purpose, but
Yeah.
it's to keep them in line. It's to keep them in order. Well, we need you guys to dress a certain way. We need you guys to come in on time, be punctual. Meanwhile, you see, I don't know how many times I've seen managers and supervisors come in late on a
Yeah.
regular basis, clocking in 15 minutes late. No issues at all. But
Because
when I'm
nobody's there to
in
say
late,
anything, man.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
It's the fact that like what Wale said, they're higher up. As the higher you go, the less likely you are to see that person. Like
Mm-hmm.
your manager, you're gonna barely see that person. The manager's barely gonna see that person, so they could come in late because their higher up is not looking over them.
And
You
mind
feel me?
you, the work you're doing, 9 times out of 10, you could do better than the higher up person. They don't know nothing about it.
True. I
But
also think you do less work the higher you go. Like
yeah,
less grunt work. Grunt work. Like you're more
Yes,
managing
yes.
people, yeah. But I've seen managers be like, "Yeah, I'm just chilling. Oh, you need help? Yeah, I can help you out, but
Now to play devil's advocate, I would say the higher up you go is more politics with the meetings and handshaking,
yeah,
all that stuff. That I could see itself being stressful, like your schedule is packed to the brim. But
no,
yeah,
but
you're not
nobody's
doing.
saying that because no one's saying that because you go in higher up in a corporate sense, that means shit is always easier. But it's in
No,
terms of
I
like,
just want to make sure that's clear. It's
no, of
yeah,
course, but it's the lack of inconsistency though, because the higher you go in a corporate setting, the more you can get away with shit. The more, if you have a scandal, if a CEO or a CFO or an executive has a scandal, whether it's sexual abuse or adultery or whatever, they can get away with it, especially if it's a big enough company that makes 8, 9 plus figures. They can get away with it and still have that position. If I do that and I'm a lower level entry person or even like a middle ground person that is replaceable, I cannot have any semblance of, forget a scandal personally, I can't have any workplace issues where
let's
someone
let's
thinks that I harassed them in the workplace because I'm getting fired then.
let's bring it down on the lower level, Bobby, too. If you say you're in your same level, right?
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
And there's another person the same level as you. The only
Mm-hmm.
caveat is you're more, let's say, cozier with someone of a higher stature, maybe a promiscuous relationship. You get away with some shit. You're on the
true.
same level, but at the same time, because of what you know and who you know, you get a little some leeway. So that's where that consistency kind of like breaks. But
Exactly. And another thing that sparked me saying that it's a complete myth is because this whole idea, and I can't stand this. I've always never understood this since I started working as a teenager. Why in the hell are we or people who are employees entitled to have to give a 2 week notice when they leave a position?
the truth,
Yet
Oh,
employers don't give
Bobby.
us
Bobby
notices.
spitting
Majority,
today.
Yo,
like what?
yo, yo. I thought I got some hot food from the buffet. Bobby's doing some shit.
Bobby
I don't
spitting, boy.
understand this. I don't understand why the hell I have to give a notice to a job where I'm supposed to be easily replaceable that I want to leave to pursue something else, or I no longer want to do this position, yet they can flat on a dime call me in the office or call me on my off day, which real life happened, and say, we no longer need your services. Good luck with your future endeavors. Get the fuck out of here with no professionalism. Really? That's professionalism? Okay.
Here's the thing: it's not mandatory, right? You don't have to give 2 weeks. You low key
I'm
could just
saying
be
though,
like
it's always encouraged in
courtesy,
shows. It's always
right?
encouraged when you're told when you're getting older in
Yeah,
college. Give a 2 week notice. Unless you unless you work in like marketing or you work in a specific industry where they might give you a couple months in advance notice. Most of the
yeah.
time, you're getting fired on the spot if you're done.
True. I mean, this I completely agree with you with the they could fire you day of, pack up your stuff and leave, and you have to give a 2 week notice to common courtesy. Um, Honestly, in that 2 weeks, you ain't doing no work.
At all.
You're not being productive. You're just chilling. But yeah, it is not professional. It always goes one way for corporate. It always goes, oh, the lower level people have to, work with the company, not the company have to work with the lower level people. You got to ask for time off. It's my time off. Why I gotta put in a request for my personal time off?
I have Hashim, you're my manager, right? I have to
Yeah,
go to you
yeah,
and ask you for my time off that I've accrued over weeks and weeks of work. I have
yeah,
to ask you for a week off for me to go on vacation.
yeah. I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm gonna have to decline that. We really need you. It's a busy time of the year.
Oh brother, you thought I was asking? Brother, I was just telling you. I've already I've already made my plans, sir. I was just letting you know to be nice. I'm going regardless. I just want to get paid
Well,
for it.
well, it's unfortunate you have to cancel that trip because
Oh, it's
your
unfortunate
request
that
your
I'm still going on
request
the trip
your
and I'm
request
canceling
has
this
been
job.
declined. Your request has been declined. See you tomorrow morning.
Oh, I guess my work's gonna be declined tomorrow when I ain't
Oh,
doing
nah.
nothing at the desk. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
That doesn't make sense.
that as being a professional. Nah, bro. That you brought up the 2 week notice, personal time off. There's so many other stuff.
Even behavior wise, like in like even currently, but just in general, like with offices, I've in places I've been in of jobs, it's like you hear people, coworkers cursing public.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You hear how people talk on the phone. People's phone etiquette is crazy. Some places they have this phone script, but in other places people talk on the phone and it's like they don't have any sense of decorum whatsoever. It's just like it's no it's no real structure in it in the sense of like it being like for everybody in a sense. Like some people do it and some people don't do it. But if you're more liked, or like Wale, like you said, if you're more connected, you can get away with more shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I feel like it also creates tension when people kind of have decorum to do whatever they want because people are not on the same page. And if we're
Yeah.
all working together, the point is for all of us to be working at the same, you know what I'm saying, on the same wavelength. But that doesn't happen a lot, does it?
They don't want you to. It's the same thing with like you're not supposed to discuss pay with somebody that has the same position as you to not cause conflict with like if you guys like, oh,
That's
you
that's
just
already causing conflict. Because why are you telling me not to ask now? Because it's
that's what I'm
something you don't
saying,
want me to
right?
know.
Why is that? Shouldn't we're in the same position. We just got hired at the same time. Why aren't we getting paid the same?
Now, I have a
It's
question though. Since you said that, Hashi, I personally have never did that, but I've always wanted to. A, have either one of you ever asked your coworkers what their pay was to compare it to yours? And B, how did you go about it? And what was the conversation like?
You don't gotta tell me, but I'm just curious. When you started, how much did you make? Nine
Mm-hmm.
times out of 10, actually, well, all the times it's happened, they told me.
yeah.
And what did they say? Was it the same as you?
No,
It was more?
yeah. When I started, it was more.
Damn. And how did you react to that?
I was like, oh, okay. That's it.
Did you tell him how much you made, or you just like
Yeah,
kept
I
it
told
neutral?
him. I told him exactly how much I started too. I was like, oh, okay, because I get why it happened. I'm not gonna take it out on them or anything, but I'm just like, is this something where I'm like, I guess I gave off the impression that yeah, I knew you made more than me. I just want to know the number. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
take it out on you. It's just like, oh, I'm keeping it in my mind. That's all.
Mm.
Yeah.
I just don't say shit either. I say, yo, just between me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they know if something was to get out, they came for me.
But yeah,
Hashim, has that ever happened to you, or have you ever asked?
I agree. Basically similar situation with Wale. It's usually like people that you've been coworkers with that you just like work close together and conversation pay comes up, and if they're open to talk about it, it's like yeah, blah blah blah. And it's pretty from the time that I've asked, it was pretty close. I made a little bit more,
Mm.
uh, but that's you can't do nothing. I feel like it's different for when you're actually in the job and then you start working and maybe they could base it off of oh how productive have you been blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah, but it's still all politics.
Yeah.
If somebody likes you more, same thing with Wale was saying before, if somebody likes you, know somebody else higher up, you might have a more likely chance you get a better position or more pay or better benefits, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not really professionalism in the corporate. It's all a game. It's all
Yeah.
politics, man.
I
100%.
hate politics, bro.
I hate it.
It's all
Just
politics.
a sidebar, so real quick, bro. It irks me that, especially, I guess this is for better words, but people our age, especially, when they want to act like they're a politician all of a sudden, I'm like, bitch, you were failing social studies and I was helping you. Why are you bringing all this energy now, talking about Biden, Trump, and all? Shut the fuck up. You weren't the
It's
top A student in
They
that
could they could
class.
grow. They could grow, man. They could
Grow these,
grow.
yo. Ooh, let
Oh,
me. Ooh.
that was about to get crazy.
Anyways,
that's crazy.
that's it's just things like that. Well, I just sidebar. I just hate politics, bro. I really truly do.
I
That's
do
how to put
too,
in my
but
head.
I noticed I noticed this, and we're gonna get back on track. But I noticed especially that type of thing, Wale, you're talking about, happens when election time comes back around every 4 years,
Yo,
and
nah, no, go
everyone
back on track.
acts
Nah,
like,
nah. The
yeah.
strain is
A few moments later.
It's funny too, y'all. You guys mentioned the pay thing in terms of like part of like the non-professionalism and stuff. So LP, right? Homie, you know what I'm saying? Good friend of the show, former special guest.
And
Me and him were former co-workers, as I probably mentioned before in the previous episode. And we were basically in the same department. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't doing exactly the same thing, but he was basically training me to do my job because he was doing my job before me,
yeah.
essentially. So, you know, LP and I sit next to each other. We at this cubicle. We talk after work. All this and that. We're close, so we talk, right? So every day we talk after work. And I remember one time we had a conversation. I don't know if this was directly after work or separately, just like in regular life. And I had asked him. I was like, "Hey, so and we're no longer this position is like years ago, so we could talk about it." So I asked him. I was like, "Yeah, how much did you make? Like, how much you make or whatever?" He said this number, and I remember him saying that he got hired through an agency. And then I was like, "Oh, you made that number? Damn, I make $2 an hour less than that. That's crazy." I was a direct hire, mind you. So it's always just funny to me too, the fact that like through an agency or through like a third party, the amount you can get for the same position compared to if the people hire you directly. Because this is how little these companies and corporations value you. But these are the same people who will tell you you need to be strictly professional. Ain't that a bitch?
yeah.
So
There's a code of conduct of things, obviously, that I get in when you're at work, but
of
yeah,
course.
overall, man. I'm still baffled to this day. Like sometimes I walk in the office or just in general hear stories. I'm like, was I bamboozled growing up? Because how the hell do you have these people acting older than me? They're older than me physically, but they're like children, or they're saying shit in meetings. Like, bro, I'm in meetings where they just sidebar, and I'm just like, I got shit to do. What are we
Facts.
doing?
They wasting time, bro.
Listen, man.
I'd rather waste my time doing nothing at work than being in a meeting talking about shit that I don't care about. At least I know my work is done, if anything. Or if it's not done, that's on me.
I
But what
cannot.
is
I cannot tell you, Wale, how many times I've been at different jobs for different positions, and the most immature coworkers I had were older coworkers. And immature does not mean like immature in the traditional sense. I mean, they don't know how to communicate well. They don't know how to talk to people in a respectful way. That's your coworkers. They don't know how to get shit done the right way. But then they be the ones who try to act like the elders of the department or the elders of the work environment when they messing up the whole environment. Like, make it make sense.
I hear too many people talking in the office and just having random conversations for that to be possible.
It'd be the same people, Hashim, that say that be like acting like you're supposed to be working all 8 hours. Those be the same people who act like they're busy all day, every day, when they're just too busy for you. But they're not they're not too busy. They'll make time for specific things and people. They're just too busy for you. Exactly. It's priority. If you're a priority to the person, then they can make time for you. Same thing with that. Oh, if it's a priority, yeah, we're gonna work and we're gonna take care of business, but nobody's working the whole damn shift. I know for certain nobody's working the whole shift. I see it in here. I see y'all. You was just on your phone. How you
working? You work the whole shift?
Hell no. You can say I work the whole shift because I'm in the office all damn day, but I'm like, you could technically I am, but at the same time, I'm not like actively doing a whole bunch of work because I either finished it or I'm time dependent on somebody.
That's the problem I have with the professionalism type stuff where you have to come dressed and you have to come, all right, you're looking clean, you have to come ready to work, but it shouldn't matter as long as you do your work. As you finish your work, you're productive. I feel like you should be able to dress however you want. You're not distracting somebody by having a different hairstyle or.
And I know someone's gonna say, so I could dress like a bum. No one's saying dress like a bum. No one is saying that or dress up sloppy, none of that. You can keep yourself together. Look, we're all put together with just basic ass clothing.
Yeah.
I don't get why people act like dressing casual means you dress sloppy or you dress like a bum. I dress casual on a regular basis and I can still look decent. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
Just because some of these people because I see some of these people, I'm not in my job, but in general, or I hear stuff, they say, oh, no, they dress casually. And I'm like, it looked like you just slapped on a bunch of clothes together. Like the clothes themselves are fine, but you didn't put effort in combination.
Mm-hmm. It's another structural thing. I cannot emphasize why I can't stand this idea of being professional. It's a structural thing to tell Black people who are employees, to tell Hispanic people, to tell people who are traditionally not in positions of power through capitalism. Is just another way to tell us or tell people, hey, we need you to do things in order for us, for our benefit, not your benefit, not that it has any impact on the job that you or role that you do, but just for our sake, for our look.
It's a structure for society, man. It's certain rules set in place to get us in line type thing. So it's not you don't have your low-key individuality. You know, everybody got the same mindset. You dress alike, you don't dress professional, you come to do work, and then you leave. You don't do anything else. But it's professional. The same thing with school and stuff, man.
And that's a good point with the school outfits too. Hashim, I just thought about something you just said too. So the hair thing. How many times, how many stories have we heard about Black employees specifically with an afro, with dreads, with locks? Hey, it's even at school, right? School too. This is gonna apply to
graduation.
School. This job, you gotta cut your hair. I've seen countless stories of students on sports teams or at private schools or schools where they have uniformity. Hey, you gotta cut off the hair. Oh, you can't have it over a shoulder width. But unless it's straightened hair, then it's fine. But if it's a lock or something, it's a problem. What would you guys do? And what would be your reaction? You go into work one day, you know what I'm saying? You clock in, you're ready to do your job. Manager, hey, can you come into the office real quick? Unfortunately, we got a new policy. I'm gonna need you to cut your hair off, brother. I mean,
Why?
you guys get a regular cut.
What's the
Hashim,
policy
especially,
say?
you gotta cut
What's
your
the,
hair off.
what's the
Clean
policy
shaven.
say?
The
What's the policy say?
policy says you have to be clean shaven. You can't have no beard, no facial hair except for a mustache, and you can't have long hair. You have to have just short cut hair.
So what's that?
What's your
What
reaction?
would happen if I don't do it?
You're
This is the question I'm asking.
you're risking being written up and possible termination.
So I'm gonna get written up for the here I got hired with, right? And this new policy I'm getting a man, I'm getting a good check out of them. Watch. I'm gonna be on TV talking about it. I was like, yeah, they told me to cut my hair. No, only me.
This
I
man
ain't see nobody else.
This man gonna be not even on like Fox or CNN. Forget that. He gonna be on PBS. He's
nah.
gonna be on PBS where he knows everyone who looks like us is gonna be on his side, and it's gonna be crazy. Hashim, your name gonna turn to hashtag brother. And we're gonna be right behind you, my boy.
I'm gonna just say two things. I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna be like, one, so Emily with the long hair, she's not have to cut her shit off, or Henry over here with the, like, I've seen different kinds of fros, right? On a white person. And I'm like, so he's gonna cut that shit off too, right? Oh no? All right. And two, you see this? See this? You see how my shit is nicely fit on me? Yours is a little bulging. It's distracting. It gives sloppy. I need you to hit that treadmill, sir.
It's not a policy. It's not part of the policy.
No. I'm feeling uncomfortable. You're giving me body horror. It makes me uncomfortable.
Body?
Wow. That's crazy.
You are assaulting my eyes and my mind of health. I need you to go into the treadmill, sir or madam.
I've never heard somebody refer to someone being
or in the
body
reverse.
horror.
Let's be inclusive. In the reverse, you looking a little skeletally, a little skeletal action. I need you to put some more meat on your bones or something.
Wow.
Oh damn, you gonna turn it into a body shamer? God damn.
Oh,
listen.
I don't think that's the right approach, sir.
They shaving the hair. Listen, I'm telling you that professionalism, as you said, Bobby, is out the window now. The gloves are off. You're not gonna look at me and tell me, oh, that's wrong. You gotta cut it off because it's not fitting your policy. Is the building gonna burn down because of hair? I'm confused. No. Are you gonna get COVID because of his hair? Like what is the reason? Otherwise, get the fuck out of my face. Is the long story short.
The only way they could do that if you have like bird's nests growing in your hair, be like, hey, it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, trim it.
I suggest
make it appropriate.
I recommend.
Yeah.
I highly recommend
do it.
Cut that shit.
I'm not saying you have to do it, but I highly recommend.
Right.
I got a barber that you could use.
Yeah, like that's different. But if you're saying, oh, that hairstyle is deemed inappropriate, like you're not even saying it's unkept or anything. It's just, oh yeah, it's not appropriate for work. Just cut it off. What?
No.
Or even for women too. When it comes to them and women who are thicker or curvier, especially like for teachers, you see this becoming a growing trend where like these schools and these educational systems and these different areas of work, they don't allow women who have more curvature bodies to wear clothing, even though the clothing fits on them. They're just thicker.
Really?
Yes.
I've seen a lot of videos for that.
Yes, especially with teachers, bro. Yes, especially with teachers. And I'm sure some of y'all watch this who've seen this, where there's this teacher that is, she's thick, she has big, wide hips, she has, booty or whatever the case may be. And her clothing fits her. It's tight skin, but it fits her body. But because of her body type, they say, oh, well, you can't wear those type of pants. You can't wear that type of shirt. Even though it fits the policy, because of her body type, she can't wear it. It's like,
I've
why?
seen where
You're being a hater. I don't even want to say a hater. You're
You being a hater.
No, fuck that. Because I can't stand that hater word too. But it's like you're being disingenuous, and you're just trying to control something because of envy or because it's not appropriate to you. To wrap up my thoughts before I get y'all verdicts, even though it seems like I know what the verdict's going to be.
You don't know.
I can't. Oh, here you go. I can't stand this idea and these constant reminders of things that's been set in place in society to tell people who are Black, who are Hispanic, who are gay, who are women, who are marginalized people, that you need to adhere to these certain sets of rules and regulations, especially in America, in order to elevate yourself. But then it doesn't apply to white people or people who are in positions of power. And when we see that, and when you see that, it makes you less in line with trying to adhere to it, but you feel like you have to because you don't have any choice. If you don't, then you could be out of a job. You can, not be able to pay your bills, not have income coming in, and be just stranded in your life. So you have to be professional. You got to wear certain things that you really shouldn't have to wear for your position. You have to talk a certain way in order to get in line with the people that have position of power, who may be your manager, who may be an executive. And you have to do all these different things that have nothing to do with how you are as an actual employee. And it's so disheartening to constantly see this, which is why I think professionalism is a complete myth. Me personally.
I agree with your overall statement and your prove it or lose it. I agree. I think there is professionalism, but it's all at one level, right? It's between you and your direct coworkers, not anybody higher up. You could be professional. You could also be non-professional. It all depends on your company culture, and
Culture.
yeah, that's what quotes.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's I don't think professionalism is a myth. It's just frowned upon. Let me use corporate language to not be professional in the office.
So wouldn't that make it a myth at that point then? If it's not an actual
I mean, it's still there. It's still there. People still use it. There's majority of the people in the office use it. It's just not the higher ups, right? You use it amongst your coworkers.
It's not consistently enforced.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's you got to play the game because it's easier to play the game than to change the system. Unfortunately. But
once you know the game, it becomes easier to change the system. But go ahead.
Yeah, but that's a whole different, deeper conversation. Mm-hmm. But on that note, thank y'all for watching. We appreciate it. Let us know in the comment section below about my prove it or lose it. What is your thoughts and opinions on professionalism? What is your stories that you might have had about professionalism in your workplace? Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on HBCU3. That's our Instagram. All our individual socials are there if you want to follow us individually. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, the HBCU podcast. If you want to be a guest, let us know. If you have any topics for us, let us know. Any final thoughts or words from y'all?
Hashim?
Don't wild out tomorrow at work, man. Just because we had this conversation don't mean you gonna wild out. It's an F the system. Nah, you still gotta be professional.
Y'all have a good day. We out of here. Peace.